Moores is an internationally recognized expert in oil and natural gas policy. He's executive chairman at Energy Capital Research Group. He joins us from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. First of all, Kent, how is the cargo complicating the search and rescue mission, even attempts for a cleanup?
Elaine, unlike normal crude oil, oil or gas condensate is a highly volatile mixture. I mean, consider it to be high-octane gasoline on steroids. This is not simply a containment process, which would be the case if you had a spill of normal crude oil. This is a highly volatile potential mix that, when it mixes actually with the atmosphere, can have massive reactions. This has all the potential of being a genuine environmental disaster unless they can confine the potential for an explosion. And at the moment, they're looking at 10 square miles of area in which that explosion might take place. So this is very significant.
And Kent, what about the long-term effects here? This is a huge, important fishing area for the region. What do they need to look out for?
Well, it's too soon, Elaine, to determine what the longer-term implications will be. So long as they can contain the disaster, there's not likely to be any medium or longer-term impact on the fishing in the area. But if there is an explosion, the toxic fumes that will result may have longer-range implications.
Is there any better or safer way to transport this particular material that was in transit? And could we see any changes as a result of what has happened?
This is the Sanchi, which is the tanker at issue here, is a late generation, what's called Suezmax in terms of its capacity. It's double hulled and it has a number of repetitive safety provisions in it. So the tanker itself is more or less secure. There is little indication it's going to break up. The explosion, of course, could change things significantly if that were to occur. Short term, there is no other alternative to this. The reason why gas condensate is so valuable internationally is that it is such a high premium of crude oil that it actually is the easiest of the crude oil classifications to refine, and therefore is the most highly prized for end users. And in this case, the end user are major refineries, and in this case in South Korea. So we're going to see a continuation of this. There was no built-in difficulty in terms of this movement until the collision. And so we're dealing here with other tanker and shipping lines and other tanker and shipping venues, which are the problem. Fortunately, if there is a silver lining to this, we are about 260 kilometers east of Shanghai, so at least we're in more or less open water. If this had taken place closer into the Yangtze River Delta, we might be dealing with a more dangerous situation.
And because of the level of danger involved, are you confident that behind the scenes the right people are making the decisions as to how to approach the cleanup and the rescue effort? Because you see this level of cooperation between various countries trying to work together and deal with this disaster.
I think the ability to deal with the disaster and the way in which you do it, the protocol, is particularly well known. So this is not something that the industry as a whole hasn't been aware of. The importance right now is to contain the initial damage location. If they can do that, then I think that the potential for a broader-based disaster declines considerably.
All right, Kent Moores, so we appreciate your insight. Thank you for joining us from Florida.